Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I just want to say welcome. My name is Hassan, and my wife Sinisa and I recently retired in our mid-50s and are in the middle of transitioning our lives to Bangkok, Thailand. And today, I'm going to do something that may shock a few people. I'm going to explain why Thailand is not automatically cheaper for us to live, and what we actually have to change to make it truly cost effective. So why I made this video, I kept seeing videos saying you can live comfortably in Bangkok for $1,500 to $2,000 a month. And I thought, okay, but for who? A single backpacker? A monk? Someone who eats street food 3 times a day and never leaves their condo? So this is my honest attempt to provide an accurate cost comparison. So my wife keeps meticulous records of our daily spending, and she's sharing her data. So we've decided to post our actual numbers here in this video. And just to note, all of the numbers you'll see are actual monthly payment amounts or monthly averages taken from the last 3 months of living here. For example, we paid our gym membership for 3 months, but we've taken the average cost over those 3 months for 2 people. And a little bit of background. So I retired last September from the US government, and my wife was holding things down on the home front while managing a small portfolio of rental properties. So retiring in Thailand wasn't a spontaneous decision for us. So I've been traveling to Thailand since 2011, and Sinisa has roots here. Our plan to retire here has been a long time coming, and to use Bangkok as our travel hub throughout Southeast Asia and beyond. So to ease some of the transition to Thailand, we bought a small condominium here in Bangkok. So we have the luxury of not paying rent, which is a win, but there's a little bit more to it. So even with having a condo in Bangkok, we decided to keep our house in Alabama. Why? Well, because of aging parents, close relatives, and other vested ties to the US. So selling everything and disappearing into the tropics of Southeast Asia sounds romantic until you get that dreaded call regarding a personal family matter, which requires us to travel back to the States. So the numbers you're about to see compare our expenses living half year in Alabama and half year here in Thailand, while maintaining both homes. So important context, Alabama is considered one of the cheaper states to live in. Not the cheapest, but when compared to places like New York or California, it's basically equivalent to Mickey D's dollar menu of US living. So let's go to the data. Here's a table showing our monthly expenses. So I tried to include everything. No wizardry, no YouTube optimism. So, all right, so you see on the left list the expense categories. The green column shows our monthly cost of living in Alabama. The blue column shows the cost of living in Bangkok while still maintaining our home in Alabama. That dark horizontal line that goes across the table, those are the expenses that we have to pay no matter where we are, simply to keep our Alabama house alive and well. Anything above that line. And there's that red column, way on the right there. Well, we'll get to that plot twist later. So living in Alabama, our expenses average about $2,222 per month. Now, when we shift to Thailand, you'll notice some immediate savings. The blue column now. Auto insurance drops about $120, $27 per month because our EVs go into storage, and utilities also decrease over 58%. $58 per month. Internet gets downgraded, which saves about $41 per month. So when you add up all the mandatory expenses from our home in Alabama, we save about $232 per month. So the big question is, do those savings actually make Thailand cheaper? Does it make Thailand cheaper? So let's look at the rest of this column, the rest of the blue column, living in Thailand. While living in Thailand and maintaining our Alabama home, our expenses actually rise slightly to $2,326 per month. That's a little over $100 more per month than living in Alabama alone. So not exactly the living like royalty fantasy. Or is it? Let's see where we save and where we definitely don't. So going back to the upper half of the blue column, we save about $232 per month by placing our vehicles in storage, using less electricity, and then downgrading our internet. Though lawn care goes up by $9 because I'm not there to take care of it. I need to pay somebody. So moving down the list, food drops by about $124 per month. Medical and dental visits, well, let me just say that the medical services out here, you could really save a lot of money out here on that, on medical and dental. We don't have a whole lot of doctor visits out here or medical issues, knock on wood, but that's something that's significantly cheaper compared to the US. But for us, we only save $50 savings. Moving on, cell phone service, we saved a whopping $4.50. And then miscellaneous expenses such as retail items, clothes, electronics, I even put laundry in there. We saved $49 a month. So comparing local transportation in Thailand with auto registration and insurance back in the US only saved about $13. With charity, saved about $60, and that's roughly only $300 per month saved while living in Thailand. Sounds great until you see what wipes out that savings. Here's where things get interesting. Gym membership, an additional $95. Barber and salon, additional $19 per month. Entertainment, that's pretty much massages, an additional $13 per month. Now where the nail gets driven in the coffin is by purchasing a pair of round-trip airfare to Thailand at $3,000. So if we do that just once per year, that's an additional $250 per month. In all, that's about $377 in additional expenses, which more than eats up that savings. So why does this happen? Can you say lifestyle creep? In Alabama, we pay $0 for gym access. As a military retiree, I have free access to gyms on base. In Thailand, no free ride. Treadmills cost money. So second, haircuts, nails, and salons. So here's the irony. My haircuts are 4 times more expensive in Alabama, but we spend more here on grooming in Thailand. Why, you ask? Well, because my wife, she doesn't get her hair or nails done in the US. To save money, she does them herself. She thinks they're too expensive and I just go with the flow. In Thailand, they're affordable enough that she can get them done every other month. So same with massages. In the US, they're a rare luxury. In Thailand, a 2-hour massage at $15 twice a month is completely reasonable. So this is the point that I want to make. Thailand just doesn't lower prices. It tempts you into purchasing items and services that you normally wouldn't purchase in the US. Wait, get your mind out of the gutter. Get your mind out of the gutter. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I mean. So I'm talking about lifestyle creep, which is a concept where you spend more as you earn more money, or in this case, having extra money due to the lower cost of living here in Thailand. And it usually happens without you even knowing about it, unless you do what we do, which is keep a daily record of every dime spent. Or we're in Thailand, so every Thai baht spent. So let's talk about the food. The street food is quite cheap and we eat plenty of it, but there are also tons of restaurants which are also affordable. But the fufu drinks and the Western items can be quite a bit less affordable. But because they cost less, we wind up eating out a whole lot more, 2 to 3 times a week more, especially when friends or family come to visit. So since we moved out here, we've had 3 sets of friends and a stepson come and visit. So since we've been hitting the restaurants pretty hard lately, we've only been able to save about $124 per month on food compared to what we spend in Alabama. So in the US, we may only eat out once or twice a month. Everything else is home cooked. In Thailand, convenience and price make eating out irresistible, and that adds up fast. Could we live cheaper? Absolutely. If we really wanted to cut costs, we could eat out less, cut back on massages, salons, nails, reduce charitable giving to street performers and blind singers. But the biggest savings could be achieved by selling our home back in Alabama and living out here full time. If we did that, our expenses would drop to about $1,800 per month for 2 people. But that's without paying rent, since we do own our own condo here. So referring back to the table one last time for an apples to apples comparison, represented by the green and red columns show the difference in monthly expenses between living in Alabama full-time and out here in Bangkok full-time. So in both locations, we own our own homes. So there we see a savings of about $413 per month. The reason why the savings is not greater is because we have a tendency to increase our standard of living and live a bit more lavishly out here compared to living in the US. So let's look at the bottom line. Can you live more cheaply here in Thailand? Absolutely you can. You can live very cheaply or very lavishly. If you eat street food daily, skip Western brands, and stay in 3-star accommodations, Thailand can be incredibly affordable. But if you come here with a long list of must-haves, you know the type who must have Starbucks, must have cheeseburgers, their favorite Kellogg's cereal, their top-rated gyms, their massages in 4 or 5-star hotels, and hit the nightclubs every other weekend. If you're that person, Thailand will happily take your money. But Thailand doesn't force you to spend more, it just makes spending much more easy to do. And that's due to lifestyle creep. Even at a time when the Thai baht is at its strongest, the affordability factor is quite real, which makes it easier to splurge on goods and services that you may not normally buy back in the US. So if you come out here for vacation for a week or two, it's generally not a problem because you're minimizing your spending time here and you go back to work. But if you come out here to live long term, you will have to keep your lifestyle creep in check. And folks, that's all I have for you today. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel, and stick around for more honest and real-world retirement expat content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.